Good morning. We are back again. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. So wherever you're watching this program, it's a pleasure, joining us. And it's Thursday, the 30th of October. Like I said, yesterday I mentioned it here on the program. We would soon be getting to the end of the year. December is coming very soon. And a lot of activities during December, and QTV would be prepared for it. As you know, end of year we organize a lot of programs to make sure people see themselves on this television. Yeah, so I'm with Mr. Momo. Do I call him Momo Dumbuj or Adi Drame?
I can change my name for the program if you want. And call myself Momo Dumbuj. If that's you're obviously missing Momo Dumbuj.
I'm telling you. Good morning.
But I'm not. I'm Adi Darame. Yes. Good morning, Balde.
How are you? How have you been?
I've been all right. I've been better, but I'm all right at the moment. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So our newspaper review guest is no other than Mr. Malik Kah. And Mr. Kah, good morning.
Good morning. Bonjour.
Ça va? Ça va bien. All right, so our program will take a look at the African code and the newspaper review. From the review, we'll be talking to the the ambassador of Turkey in the Gambia, Mr. Toka Oba, on the 102nd anniversary
of the
Republic Day. So we'll be engaging him. He will be here later. Then we will also be
102nd.
102nd,
yes. That's the right way to mention it. Yeah, so we'll be looking at Ngala Lodge breast cancer fundraising. The fundraiser, Ngala team would be in the studios too, and we'll engage them. Why breast cancer? What are some of the things that they are doing to make sure, there is fundraising to support breast cancer awareness. So,
and of course, we're still in Pink October.
Yes,
of course.
exactly.
So, yep.
And we have a day to go before end of October.
Indeed.
But I believe breast cancer awareness continues even after October, although this was set aside for people to, double up efforts.
Just heighten it, yes, of course.
But every day it sensitizes on day.
Sure.
Yeah, so every goat will find its butcher. Somalia. The proverb is from Somalia.
I'm glad you've found out where this one is from. I guess, if you look at it beyond the literal translation, it's just a case of everybody will one day meet their match. It could be in life, in your career. We remember the days of Muhammad Ali when he was unbeatable. And then, of course, he was banned. He came back, fought Joe Frazier, who nearly broke his jaw and beat him. We all thought Ali was unbeatable, but he met his match. So yes, every goat.
The proverb is telling you, one day there will be a time when things will change. You understand? There are situations whereby, I'll take a brighter example. When a child is doing something and everybody advised the child to stop, or it's not the right way to go. You understand? So elders will tell you, "Ninga tase aksa domi ndey or domi bajen." You understand? So it's telling you there is an end to everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Kah, can you please help us?
Yeah, from my research, I found that one of the areas is like justice will always be meted. If you do certain things that are bad, no matter how long time, but you will always
catch up with you.
And that is what the fate of the goat is ultimately. That is why the goat is up with the butcher. Every dog has its day. So what you're doing have consequences, and then you'll have to meet up with the consequences. Even though the goat did not do anything, but then...
So let's take a brighter example of the case of former President Yahya Jammeh. When he was in this country, and he was untouchable. For people like me, I was even thinking he's even immortal at some point. But today, with the press release that is given by the government. If Jammeh gets here, it's his right as a citizen to come back to his country, but the law stays the same. I mean,
absolutely. I saw somebody wrote a nice piece making comparative analysis. I think it's one Samsudin Sar comparing Bukasa's situation with that of Jammeh, and the parallels are uncanny. Yeah. I mean, Bukasa had the same fate, and he became so desperate, he just took a flight and went straight back home to Bangui, you know, and then had to face justice. I think Jammeh is in a similar situation. His state of mind, you can tell the guy is not settled, you know, for somebody that for 22 years, you know, you have your own kingdom, you do what you want, you decide, you decide the fate of people, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a shell where you don't have people attending to you, people kneeling to you, and you doing prayers, doing all type of things. Now you feel very vulnerable and very sad. You know, his situation is so
well,
desperate.
I think this should be a lesson for every individual. I mean, you know, situations change. Nothing remains the same forever. So it's important once you are in the helm of affairs for you to be able to rule justly and, you know, make sure the people that you are ruling, because at the end of the time, it's about them, not about you. You understand? So,
but how many African presidents even think like that?
It's
I
different.
mean, you mentioned Bokassa. Bokassa took it a stage further, Central African Republic. He renamed it Central African Empire, named himself emperor, had this big Roman crown designed for him, big event, invited presidents from all over the world.
The idea, you know.
Well,
he
indeed.
Toyed with the
you
idea,
know, the whole Babili
you know.
Mansa thing, you know. Yes, and
it
there
almost
have been rumors.
Yes,
that
it almost happened. In this
so he
country.
was very similar to Bokassa in many ways. And the situation we have in Africa, like Ade pointed, we have seen a lot of, you know, movement in terms of the youth or even the people generally demanding. You know, Africa have transformed, and the rulers of today must recognize that the African people are more educated, more demanding of their tax, more knowing, more intending to hold you accountable. So you have to factor these things when you do these things and realize that sooner or later they will hold you to account. If you perpetuate yourself for too long, they become disillusioned. At some point, there will be ruptures. Even though Ivory Coast, the guy has done a tremendous amount of job, building roads, building lots of things. But the disgruntlement, you can feel it, even though he's just won an election 4th term.
Because he tweaked the constitution to allow him a 4th term.
Yes.
And that's why there's disgruntlement, of course.
And not just there. You have other countries as well. We've seen what happened in Madagascar. We've seen what happened in Kenya. We've seen what happened in Senegal. We've seen what is happening in Guinea. So these
and we've seen what is happening in Cameroon.
As well.
8th term,
of recent.
You know, and look at how many people have been killed already.
So it's always important to leave the stage while the dance and the class.
Well, the best dancer knows when to leave the stage. But I think most African presidents don't know when to leave. I think they just continue
Think about
enjoying,
it, Balde.
enjoying
When
them.
you become president,
The perks.
people almost worship you. You don't have to want for anything. And, you know, how can you leave that to come down? And
Well,
that's what none of them can give up.
We've seen the likes of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, he was old.
Yeah,
You
we've
know,
seen
we don't
that.
know what a young Nelson Mandela might have done.
You know,
He was 89 or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, at the time he decided to step down. And
I don't know what's going to happen to Sissoho Mbalo. According to him, running for 3rd term, it's coup d'etat. That's what he said. So,
But this is his second term, I guess.
It's
no?
his second term.
Yeah, second
not-
term.
And
I
then
don't
he
know
had
what's going to
said-
happen.
He would said he had
He
said
will
he
not
wouldn't contest,
contest,
and then a week later he changed
and
his
he
mind.
changed his mind.
Yeah.
So
he
that
just-
is
But
what
that's
it
the
is.
story of Africa. It's
Yeah.
always, you know, it's rather unfortunate. But then, you know, we have to, at some point, maybe into the future, maybe things will stabilize. There will come a generation
Well,
that will understand
yeah.
that, you know, perpetuity is not, you know, what is, you have time limits everywhere. And then at least
Well, I think things will change gradually.
ultimately
with education.
So if we perceive these presidents as the GOAT, these days, according to what you say in the butcher, is the crowd, the young people.
That's very apt, yeah.
Who would say enough is enough, as is happening right now in Cameroon. They have taken to the streets, and they're refusing
Because what
to
is
pay.
happening is leaders are trustees of public funds. So naturally, people have a stake. That is why they have a mouth and a word or input as to what is happening. If I entrust you with a shop, like Khalifa Saleh would normally say as an analogy, you know, to take care of the shop, I should be able to come and know what is happening with the shop, the merchandise, your sales, and all these things. So if the goods in the shop are disappearing, then it becomes a matter of concern to the owner.
Exactly.
And this is the analogy, the relationship between the rulers and the ruled.
Do you know the advent of technology, internet? It's really connecting the world. It's more of an interconnected thing. Because those in Madagascar, I mean, Gambia knows what they did
It's real
for
time
them to hold their leaders accountable.
And it's
you
also
understand?
why
So it's connecting. It's different from the 90s where you don't even know what's happening in the other parts of the world.
it's also why in some of the Arab countries, you know, they've banned things like WhatsApp. You go to Dubai, you can't use your WhatsApp very well unless you have VPN.
A VPN.
Because people use that to
I hate
organize
VPNs.
in other countries. And so, you know, it's blocked and several other countries.
You see, when I
It's
listen
blocked.
to former president's audio via WhatsApp, and I was like, the same WhatsApp you banned some time ago in Gambia, you're using that to send us audios?
Well,
Yeah.
Jammeh's case is completely different. You know, we have seen what he did, like the president alluded to the other day, that he did not even allow corpses to come to be buried.
Absolutely.
In Gambia.
I can,
The corpse of
Buba Balde of Mansa Jankunda in Basse.
Kukoi Samba Sanyang.
Buba was
Even
buried
though
in Senegal.
Kukoi is a relative of his. So these are the ironies, you know, and the corpse of and many other people. And a lot of people have disappeared, still not been found. You know, the allegations against him are many. I think he's just testing the waters.
The waters.
And some people, but they have to manage this in a way that, you know, they don't offend the victims. And who are the victims? I keep saying the majority of the Gambians are the victims, directly and indirectly. So he's thinking that this is going to be a light thing, you know, that you just come to Gambia, people will shout, welcome you. You will have people to welcome you, but you will have a lot of people that you have to face with that are ready to hold
And the
you to
reality
account.
is accountability will follow, obviously.
Absolutely.
And you know, when I see people kind of defending it, saying he's a Gambian, he's entitled to that, he's not just any Gambian. He's a particular Gambian with a particular history.
Absolutely.
And that history cannot be swept under the
It
carpet.
can't. It can't. It's different from
So
when
it's not just
Balde
you and I.
happens to go
Yes.
do something and
You
come
know,
back.
though Balde went
Probably my
just-
own case will be solved at Bundung police station and everybody goes.
You know, it's not like,
it's
oh, he went
totally
away
different.
to study and get a PhD and now he's decided to come back.
You
No,
see?
there's a history
Yeah,
behind
absolutely.
him. So when
Yeah,
they say
so
that,
gentlemen,
you know.
at this point we'll take a short break. And after the break, then we'll delve into some of the stories. And I will allow Mr. Carr to take his coffee too, to take a sip. Yeah, so we'll be right
his
back.
tea.
Opticalia, Gambia's leader in optical care with 5 locations offering the best in visual health. With cutting-edge European technology, Opticalia delivers single vision lenses in just 20 minutes. At Opticalia, we care about our future. Eye exams are free for individuals under 18, ensuring everyone has access to quality eye care. But it's not just about vision. Opticalia also provides advanced audiology services to ensure your hearing health is in the best hands. Our audiology services offer European standard hearing aids and diagnostics, ensuring everyone can hear clearly. Whether it's testing or treatment, you can trust Opticalia for your auditory care. Opticalia offers European standard products, fair prices, and exceptional value all under one roof. Visit Opticalia at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia or call us on 7767-121 or at any of our regional branches. Banjul 7767-126, Brikama 7767-123, Farafenni 7767-124, Basse 7767-125. Opticalia, love what you see and hear.
We are back. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. So now let's move on to some of the papers on the Standard newspaper. The main headline reads, GDC welcomes UDP's coalition call but rejects any imposition of flag bearer.
This is the year of coalitions. We have seen the NPP already in coalition with a number of parties, you know, and naturally the opposition have to think along those lines if they really want to make a difference. But like every coalition, there has to be processes. You cannot coronate, just come and say you are the king and then lead. Yes, I know the argument goes that certain political parties have the numbers, so therefore the others must follow. But I always use the analogy that O.J. Jallow once said when they are forming the coalition and the same argument was being presented. He said if you go to the well to draw water and you have a rope, but the rope is not sufficient, it's not long enough to draw water, but there is somebody else standing having a shorter rope, a short part that if you connect, you will be able to draw water.
They are all important.
Nonetheless, you still need that rope, that little bit. So that little bit is what the UDP have to work very hard to connect so that they can draw the water in the well.
Mr. Carr, looking at the dynamics of our politics and election, how we politic in this country and each person and the party you support. Nobody can deny the fact that UDP is the main opposition party in the Gambia. But looking at the way things are moving, no single party would be able to win elections.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about coalition. Of course, that's why we're talking about a coalition. That's why we're talking about a coalition in the first place. And I just say to people, I always tell them, go back to 2015, say. Did anybody really think a coalition would form that would unseat Jammeh? Anybody really? I did not meet a single Gambian who believed that was possible. And yet it happened.
I was among those who disbelieved that.
So was I. And yet it happened. And so you can never discount these things. You know, at some point they might seem far-fetched because Jammeh seemed to have such a grip. The opposition seemed to be so disorganized that you never felt they would come together in a way where they would actively, through the ballot box, remove him. But that is what happened. And it is a lesson. And we're not going far back to learn that lesson. You know, we don't have to go very far.
So both sides of the aisles have to work very hard to win the hearts and minds of the people.
And it has to be a very serious coalition as well. I can remember there was a coalition before the 2016 coalition, NAD. We call it NAD coalition. It was Halifa Sallah and few people that did a coalition to unseat former President Jammeh. But it didn't even go anywhere. But
because that wasn't a grand coalition, because UDP was not part of it. It fractured. It was all of them that came together, but it was we come back to the same issue of the process of selecting
who is going to be
getting the leader. That is what fractured the whole thing. That's what we are cautioning. If they are serious and want to really have a coalition, they have to engage each other and talk to each other with respect and allow a process to take place. In the absence of that, then definitely the election is more or less lost to NPP, because without that it's very difficult to see a pathway for the opposition.
Mr. Ade, there's something that I wanted to mention before we forget and proceed. Tanzania. Elections today. They're voting today, right?
A bit of a joke election.
Yeah.
Really.
So I don't understand how can one party or how can contest elections against herself. I don't understand, and all the oppositions are jailed, Mr.
Yes, they are opposition actually. They're just mocking her because he eliminated
the main ones,
most of them. That is the same the same rule book that they use in Ivory Coast as well.
Right.
Ouattara used the same as Suhulu is doing now.
Right.
I will add is more detail.
But you're right. I mean, it's exactly what Malik says. You know, essentially you've eliminated the main opposition by banning them. But, you know, you look at it, there are many countries where opposition is non-existent. You know, we continually laud China. Great partners of ours. There's no opposition to speak of in China. But because of the progress that is being made in China under the Communist Party, nobody
talks about it
or sees it as a problem necessarily. You know, and so effectively what the opposition are saying is that Suluhu has now made it a kind of one-party state. I mean, in Afwerki, in Eritrea, he has elections every 5 years, but there's only one party. So it's a bit of a joke to have elections when you're and in that country, opposition parties are banned anyway. He hasn't even sort of pretended that they exist, and yet they have elections, if you can call them elections. You know, they just kind of keep rubber stamping his rule. He's been there, what, 37 years now, and he'll be there. He still looks quite young. So yeah, that's in Tanzania. That's the situation.
De facto one-party state.
So yeah, essentially, and of course, when she took over, everybody thought, "Oh, she's a woman. She's going to be soft. She's going to be manipulated." I remember having arguments with people. "Oh, she'll be manipulated by the West," you know, because she took over from Magufuli, of course. You know, but she's.
But the thing is, she started off well.
Yeah,
She started liberalizing the media with Magufuli, but Magufuli did really have huge impact, no matter
because he had a particular vision.
And that is exactly, Africa have to explore. Is that a model that we need to adapt in order to really transition or transform from what we are? The debate has been going for a long time about socialist Africa, African socialism, or do we take the capitalist route of, you know, liberal democracy? What is the best formula to developing Africa? So these questions have been really of challenge to the African continent. And the results so far in terms of liberal democracy, because they don't play fair rule, fair game, it always ruptures. It's been failing. And we have seen Tanzania, in all honesty, have recorded a lot of progress and development within that short period of time. Because they maybe sometimes, you know, I don't know, but it's mooting to really look at these issues. And see.
I mean, the reason why we're kind of struggling with it in Africa is that because a lot of the people who stay for these extended periods, they don't seem to want to entrench themselves, enrich themselves. And it's not as if, you know, they're staying because, oh, I'm the only person who can guide this country. What if you had a heart attack and died? Is the country going to be buried with you? No, it's not.
Yeah, and another message coming in from one of our viewers. I mean, he said the main opposition leader was jailed and discharged by court last week, but chooses to be in prison until after the elections. I think it's a wise decision so that the government can pin the protest effect on him to create an opportunity to throw him to jail again.
That is Tanzania you're talking about.
In Tanzania.
Yeah, in Tanzania. It's still the Tanzania.
The situation is very volatile. I mean, they have seen the youth. They're already going out in the streets. And ultimately what will happen, you see, either have to be extremely repressive and start killing. And that is where you open the Pandora's box.
They never learn.
Yeah, once you start taking lives, then the dynamics start changing. Then you cannot govern anymore. And that is the challenge. Sometimes you win elections, but you cannot govern. And what's the purpose? Because when there is continuous instability, you cannot focus about any agenda.
Absolutely.
And these are the rumbling issues that we are seeing. And in East Africa, we see it in Uganda brewing, because they'll soon have elections as well. Bobby Wine commanding a lot of, you know, following, and Museveni being an octogenarian, still sitting there, not wanting to give way. We have seen the same rumblings. Cameroon is still not settled yet, because, you know, the flares of fire is burning all over the place.
Exactly.
So you cannot rule. So I don't know what...
And well, we can go, I mean, we can go a few years back, Morsi in Egypt, Muslim Brotherhood, they won landslide election, really. And then people took to the streets because they, you know, and then there was a coup d'etat. Can you imagine, up till today, the coup d'etat that brought Al-Sisi in, the BBC refused to refer to it as a coup d'etat. It was a coup d'etat, simple. I mean, eventually he shed his military clothes and became a civilian. But it was a coup d'etat. They never mentioned it as a coup d'etat.
History, because if you remember Anwar Sadat as well, when we entered into the peace pact with Israel, Muslim Brotherhood eliminated him. And then, you know, that has been ongoing. Egypt is a very complex kind of situation, because number one, the population is huge, it's massive.
Yeah, quite. And now that party is banned, by the way, because they know if they unban them, they have such popular support, they will win any election in Egypt. You know. Yeah.
All right, so still on the newspaper review, let's take a look at the Foroyaa newspaper. Senegal Navy intercepts migrant boat from Gambia with 138 on board.
Well, that's regular news.
It's almost
their point of. I don't know what is happening with all this support from the EU, the Navy, and all these things. They're still embarking from our shores.
Because just last week there were how many 40-something that were intercepted by the Mauritanians and returned to the Gambia.
And most of them are not Gambian nationals, you know. They come.
Well, a few of them, because what they said in the Mauritania case, they said the majority were Gambians, but they had a significant number. So I think 27 were Gambians, 11 were Senegalese. So the majority was still, because people now know
you have
Gambia.
Nigerians, you have a lot of nationals.
Sierra Leoneans among them.
So still on the paper, we have the Medicine Control Agency. They are issuing warnings over unauthorized medicine adverts on the social media. You know, I think these are things that should be controlled. I mean, they need to be controlled. You know, advertising medicines on social media, you know, sometimes can be very dangerous.
Is it these herbs or local herbs? Because
it's not necessarily
it's
those.
General.
Because what they're concerned about, they've been things like slimming things.
Slimming tea.
They're not verified, they're not checked or anything. But you know, you'll see somebody saying, "Look how I was 6 months ago. Look how I am now. I took this pill. Buy it," and so on. But they don't have the means to control it. They can issue a warning, but they don't have the means to sanction those people, to block those sites. You know, some people just do it on their WhatsApp page or their Facebook page. You know, how do you, we don't have the technology to block that, but it's a concern because they're completely unverified as to their efficacy, these medicines, and yet,
they should come to platforms, of media, educate the people to reverse their mindsets. Or they go to cause harm.
Because of the danger of it.
Yeah, so it's important. Education is always, the basis of which you can change the mindset of the people so that they can become more aware of the dangers,
Yeah, all right, Mr. Carr, thank you.
Is that it for the newspapers?
Yes,
no other exciting headlines?
For the newspaper, and we'll allow you to go take your coffee.
It's tea.
Tea.
He's a tea man.
Mr. Carr deals with tea.
He's a tea
man. You're right. I mean, I've never seen a tin of coffee in his office, all tea.
No, he usually comes, if he has a guest who wants coffee, he usually comes to me and says,
okay. I hope he's contributing.
Because he knows I will always have coffee.
I hope he's contributing.
Are you contributing? Don't even go there.
All right, so viewers will take a short break. After the break, we'll engage the Turkey ambassador to the Gambia, Mr. Toka Oba, on the anniversary of the Republic Day of Turkey. So we'll be right back.
Naine dake network koto mi yalonko wole warta nyimbanko kan adung adabe soniaring wole nyama. Imuna fang telefono la mi yalonko abe seniaring adung internet wobe tariaring. Nyindum kiusel dorna sinyin nati aleno. Ibori yela kiusel line ota. Customer care mi suti atima. Bi QCell network o mi warta network o beti adung adabe soniare QCell sunu boss ndolla silo walang dulia bulan noma.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM. Start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Vocal si network bu gëna rëy gëna yombale si réewi Gambia bi fii. Jëfandikool call bu set internet bu gaaw li yëpp si njëg bu yomba fii si QCell dawal léegi si suñ customer care bu la gën a jege ñu may la QCell line te doo si fay dara. QCell network bu gën a rëy te it gën a yombale si réew mi fii QCell suñu bos ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's head to the other segment of this program. 102nd Turkey Republic Day was celebrated in the Gambia, Mr. Adedrame, and it happened at the Ocean Bay
and
Hotel.
On TV we can see
and
Mustafa
on TV.
Kemal Atatürk.
Probably we can allow that video to play so that
Yes, if
people
we
understand.
because we have sound.
Yes.
It has sound and everything.
All right. So we'll be engaging the Honorable Ambassador Tuka Oba in the Gambia, and he will take us through this. You are welcome, Honorable.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me this morning.
It's good to have you. I mean, this is the second time we're
Yes,
sharing this
indeed.
platform again.
It's an honor.
It's been
Thank you.
long.
Thank you for coming.
Yes. So please let's start. What does the Republic Day means to the people of Turkey?
You know, 102 years ago in 1923, on the 29th of October, Atatürk laid the foundation of a modern, democratic and sovereign Turkey. I think this is very important, and the Republic is a beacon of progress and resilience. This is the real meaning. And today still we are nurturing the Republic. It's a body that lives. We have to develop it. And this is what we are doing. That is why it's a very important day for us. And of course, you know, Turkey's position in the international order, its position as a proactive and a responsible actor trying to be present in many different forums, locally and internationally. All of these elements make that this day is even more important for us. Atatürk's, you know, was a very important person, and I would like to remember him and all the fallen martyrs as well during the independence war of Turkey. The main guidelines of our republic is peace at home, peace in the world. So this is still today the main motto of our republic.
Yeah. So how? Okay.
I was going to say, and of course, Turkey has a unique geographical position as well, straddles Asia and Europe, and also that is reflected in, and of course, it's also a secular state, and that was something that was very much there at the founding of the republic, because what 623 years of the Ottoman Empire led to the modern founding of the state of Turkey, exactly. And of course a new alphabet, all these things, and the progress has been astonishing over that period, really.
Well, it was, you know, we had a great empire, but it was a shattered empire.
Right.
So we had two choices: either become under the influence of other countries,
Right.
however you call it, or become sovereign.
Yep.
We chose that path. It wasn't easy. Atatürk and all his comrades in arms had to make big decisions. They were big revolutionary moves. You talked about the alphabet, secularism, voting rights to women, change of clothing, hats,
the fez,
instead of the fez, wearing of hats.
Yes,
I mean, these can be seen intriguing for others, but actually it allowed Turkey to become again very quickly, in very short time, again a main actor of its region. Because you said Turkey is a straddle between Asia and Europe, but actually our European side is bigger than many countries that are in the EU right now. It's huge in terms of superficie. But of course, compared to Turkey's geography, maybe it's small. But we are very happy to be in both forums, and we do not say this is better, more important. Every part of the world is critical, and we try to be present in every part of the world, either through our cooperation agency, or we're trying also to facilitate some bilateral problems, etc. So we are.
I mean, you weren't here the other day, and I mentioned the fact that I did some checking some weeks ago. Didn't even know we were going to be having this conversation, and I realized that the Turkish Airlines now flies to more African destinations than any airline.
Yeah, you mentioned
is
it on
true.
this program.
And that is something that hardly ever gets mentioned because many routes people had pulled out of, and Turkish Airlines actually stepped in and took over those routes. Without those having done so, those routes would have been unserviced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, transportation is a big problem. We're talking now about Africa, I'm talking. This is a big mobility of people. I think it's a big major problem. And to increase trade, you need cargo service. To increase culture, students' mobility, you need transport. Of course, you can have road transport, but it's not realistic. So, yes, Turkish Airlines is now a big company flying to many destinations, and it's increasing. This week it started in Mombasa, for example, a new route to Mombasa.
Right.
And in Banjul also we are working, we are pushing, we are always in very good contact with Istanbul. And when I arrived almost 2 years ago, we had three flights per week.
Right.
This year it became 4,
Right.
and since this week it's 5. On Wednesday there will be 2 flights. And inshallah in January we're pushing, it's not acted yet, but during the touristic season, because our job is also, it's not just to make profits. We are here to facilitate the mobility of
Ease
Gambia. We're
movement.
contributing to the tourism of this country, and hopefully we'll go to 6 during the peak of the touristic season, because many countries make bilateral agreements to bring their tourists via Turkish Airlines, Baltic countries, sometimes European countries. It's cheaper than to maybe hire to start a new chartered line.
I mean, the last few times I've traveled to the UK, I've gone by Turkish Airlines.
Well,
Last
many
3
people do
times.
that, and we are very happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes there might be problem, but what we say when there are problems, please inform us so that we can work. This is a service,
Sure.
customer-based service. So.
Yeah.
On
Go ahead, go
on
ahead.
the government side, there have always been good relations between the Gambia and Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
And we've seen instances where you've helped us in terms of training. Police officers have gone to Turkey, in some cases military, to learn, because Turkey really has now built up this reputation of being very much a kind of a friend, not just to the Gambia, but to Africa, really. And we have benefited from that very much. And so, you know, I'm aware, I think some soldiers went, police people, I beg your pardon, went, and I think they were there for 6 months, and they learned to speak the language, and they started their training here before they went, and by the time they came back, they were fluent, some of them.
That is very true. So our vision is African problem solved by African countries. So that's the main motto.
Right.
We are not here to give lessons to anybody, but we are here to support. The Gambia, since the 90s, defense and security is the backbone of our relation, but we are diversifying. It's not just that.
Go ahead.
Today even, we have many soldiers and police officers who are doing programs in Turkey. We even have, last week we had police officers and went for masters.
Right.
And some go for 6 months, some go for 1 year, 2 years, up to 5 years for the
Right.
military.
Right.
Because they do like a whole training. It's not just a short, it's they become staff. They, So we are very proud of that. And I think Gambians are very good in languages. This is something that I say everywhere. In April of this year, we opened our cultural center, Yunus Emre Cultural Center.
Right, yes.
And last week, we started in UTG Turkish classes.
I
And
wasn't
there's
aware
a
of that.
huge
Okay.
request, demand.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have enough teachers. I wish I had more teachers. Other universities also have asked me. So this shows that the youth of this country is eager to learn something new. And Turkish is present now, you know, in more than 35, 40 years almost. So many people were trained. And we're also giving lots of scholarships. This go from a university degree to master's to PhD, theology. We gave some special programs for the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture, so very dedicated area. So we are very happy to support and to make sure that people get trained and come back to give back to this important country.
Yeah, so let's move on to the Republic Day still.
Yes.
How has the spirit of Republic Day evolved over the years?
Well, you know, we are in a very geostrategically complicated zone. We have always lots of problems around us. So our republic has to be always strong and visible. We do not have the luck. We cannot stay stable without having these elements in hand. And this is what we tried to do, to make sure that people are more prosperous, that our security forces are better equipped, better trained. Today, I'm happy to see that our defense industry is in a very important phase. We produce most of whatever we need. And I think this is, sovereignty is critical. But we are also very open to working with other countries. It's not just me. We try to also share and to make sure that other countries that are friends of us also are using of these means. So this is how we see. And it wasn't an easy path to come to today, really. So many, we had also some problems, political problems, different coup d'etats, etc. But we are striving, and resilience, I think, is the motto. Again, I would like to refer to our to Atatürk, and he tried to lay the foundation of something really serious. And today we are seeing our government, our president, is trying to push and to go to a more just, inclusive world order. Because now that's the big problem, I think.
So which of his values, I mean, still remain very significant? One of Atatürk's values which still remain very important to the people.
Well, I said it, peace at home, peace in the world. I think this is the basic of maybe the most important motto, vision, let's say, even more than motto, but vision. I think that's it. And I think he gave an importance to the youth and to women, empowering women and to the youth. You know, Turkey is one of the first countries where women could vote. Very interesting. Before many European countries.
Exactly.
So this is very, I think,
we have
important.
Images there.
Yes. Yes, and if you see, these are, Atatürk was passed away in 38, so these are maybe in 30s.
1930s.
Yes, so you see the people. So we went through, I think, a lot. To say that this country has also a very good path. You are good people that are willing to strive, and your government and your parties are trying to push. I see that. So my country will always be ready, stand by the Gambia. We will not leave this country, I think. And you are doing also great things. Since 2 years, I saw so many things ongoing. And the youth and the women in this country, really, the ladies are a great asset. If you take out the ladies, in my country as well, the system just goes.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I sit and wonder how did countries like, big nations like Turkey achieve all this thing. And I'm sitting with Honorable Ambassador here, and he's telling me we've gone through a lot. I mean, a lot has happened politically, you know, socially, a lot of things have happened. I was in Turkey, and I've seen the transformations, I've seen everything. So reading and, you know, watching videos of how you started to where you are now, it's really amazing.
And I think, I think, you know, I've been there about 4 or 5 times for conferences, and I've mentioned to Ibrahim, and I've always told him that my favorite airport, not because you're sitting here, anybody watching or listening this will tell you that Istanbul Airport is my favorite.
It's huge, right?
It's huge.
I always get lost.
And I thought the first one was good, but when they built this one, I was like, wow, you know, absolutely massive.
And now I learned they are using 3 runways at the same time.
Yes. That's new also. There were 2, and the third one was, it's not enough, sir.
I saw that.
You know, in every minute there are few planes landing or taking off. Sometimes there's 1,000 planes
Yes.
landing or taking off in just one day.
And when we were coming this time, I met 2 elderly Gambian women who I took them to an area where they have beds that are free for people to rest and relax. I don't know any other airport that has that. and the number of connecting flights, because of your strategic position geographically, you know, so many flights come through Turkey. But if we go back to the 102nd anniversary, if you look back, I think many of the reasons why the country has developed has been Ataturk's vision, and that people have stuck to his vision of
Trust that has
well, this is
given.
it. But if you had to name, what would you say have been the things over the journey of these 102 years that have really stood out for you as to making Turkey the nation that it is today?
Well, all those revolutionary moves. I think alphabet, the wearings, the I would say rights, voting rights.
Yeah.
After we should also go through there after Atatürk. I mean, it's like a marathon. Somebody takes and continues.
And
this is how
on.
it should.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, patriotism is something important. I think that is an important essence: sovereignty and patriotism. To trust in your country, to trust in your people, and to see that you have a beautiful country like the Gambia also, and to see the advantages of this country. And that's how you go forward. And of course, you have to start producing, manufacturing, industrialization. These were, I think, the biggest moves. And the more you produce, the more technology you are trying to seek. And this is how you go. Look, in 70s, Turkey was under embargo due to our intervention in northern Cyprus, in Cyprus.
Yes.
What happened? After that embargo, we started developing our national defense industry. They did not give us parts of some elements. We developed our unmanned air vehicles, and now we're the leader, world leader. Without any, we are #1 in UAVs and with other equipment also. So when there's something blocking, you have to find a solution, but you have to believe in you and in your people. I think that was our luck. We had people who were trusting each other, and you know, nation building is not something easy. The citizenship is something important that you have to nurture, to trust in your country, to trust in your people, to trust in your system. So when you achieve that, or achieving is a big term, but when you try to go to that goal,
the right direction,
the right direction, I think everything is automatic.
So
I mean, this is actually, sounds very easy, right? But it's not.
It's not. I know.
It's not.
Ibrahim Abalde, when you were there, were you in Istanbul or Ankara?
I was in Istanbul.
In Istanbul, very cosmopolitan city. And first time I went there, the thing that surprised me were the number of African restaurants that I could find. Because I just wanted to see, just, you know.
I visited one. I visited a Senegalese African restaurant.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's a
it
very
was really
cosmopolitan
amazing,
city.
Mr. Adebraham.
Yeah.
You know. So you've come from a long way, and you've gone a long way through. Republic Day, what's the lesson, I mean, for the younger generation? What should they learn from this?
Well, you have to take the baby. The baby is growing up, but you have to take care of her. You should not leave her, and you should work for her and make sure that the Republic gets bigger with more rights, a better country to live, more democratic rights, more social rights. So everybody has something to do. Nobody should take it for granted, because you can always go back. But to go forward, you have to work for it. And I think that was a big thing. We didn't have a lot of natural resources. You know, we didn't have petrol. So we had to work and to earn our place in the world. And I think our ancestors, our elders, uncles, aunties, really strive for that, and they manage. Actually, this could be a very good image for many countries.
A model that others could
you know, I
Prosperity.
always talk about the Gambia because I represent my country. You are lucky. You are a small country. You always say we're a small country, but no.
You have to
In
think.
this context, you are lucky. You have a small land and a nice number of people. You can teach them, train them. You can find work. If you had 100, 200 million people, it would be very, very complicated. So really we are looking the Gambia as the Smiling Coast as a very good partner, and we think that you will strive and you will achieve many things. You are going on the right path.
You mentioned in relation to the airlines about helping the Gambia with its tourist industry. Take this opportunity, if you will, to tell people about tourism in Turkey and the many things that people can get to see, because I think sometimes people are surprised.
Yes, tourism is a very big industry in my country.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
also lots of challenges. You know, here people say we have lots of, in my country also we have lots of challenges. There's no country that has no challenges. That's a myth. With the economic situation, everything is getting complicated. This year we had about $60 billion of revenue from tourism.
Wow.
But
Wow.
this is a very long
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
This is not something that happened
Oh,
in
but you
1 year.
mentioned 60
Billion.
from tourism.
from tourism.
Yes.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yes.
How many tourists do you receive a year roughly? Just
I think it's about 80 something. We're just after Spain.
80 million.
After I don't remember
80
the
million?
exact number, but we're about just after Spain.
Yeah.
So in the top 5.
And as I was saying, because also geographically where they are placed, it's a great place to connect from. And of course, when people go there, they think, oh, I might stay here and view some of the tourist sites,
You know,
historic sites, and
yes,
so on.
tourism is not just sea
yeah.
and beaches. You
yeah,
have to
yeah.
develop. You have, you know, when a tourist comes, he doesn't want just to relax. He wants to learn
Yeah.
because people are hungry. They want to see new cultural artifacts.
Yeah.
Every country has something to propose.
Yeah.
But taking out these artifacts, putting them correctly
On
in a
display.
good way
Yeah.
and to make it user-friendly or tourist-friendly is a very complicated task. And you need to invest lots of money to get a return on investment. So it's not easy. Of course, you need the infrastructure, the hotels, but you need also to develop health facilities.
Sure.
You need to develop worshipping places.
Yeah.
You need to develop the transportation system. It's not just let me build a hotel and people will come. That's a fantasy.
But there should be a proper structure. And
It's a strategy,
I've-
but it's 20, 30, 40, 50 years
yeah.
long.
and the transport system, it's also amazing. You know, when I was at the bus station, my friend said to me, "Look at the time on the screen." I looked at it. He said, "By 5 past, the bus will be here." And 5 past, I wanted to prove him wrong, but 5 past, the bus was there, and he said to me, "Look at the time."
Yeah.
You know, so these are things that I think other nations should also look into to be inspired.
You know, Istanbul is almost 20 million of citizens.
Yeah,
So
right.
you don't have the possibility to make anything wrong, or otherwise it will be a hectic. It's already not easy place.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
wonderful city, but it's packed, and any big problems would create a huge traffic jam, and it will take hours to to
correct.
make sure that the roads are open again. So this is also again very long time strategy and investment, sir. Nothing is easy. Nothing is take it for granted.
So if we go back to Republic Day, I guess it's obviously a public holiday.
Yes.
How is it celebrated in Turkey? And by we know
Yes.
we know what happened here.
Well, yes. So in the morning, all His Excellency the President and all the ministers and hierarchy, the military, etc., all the people that are on that day on duty, because yes, they go to Anıtkabir. Anıtkabir is the mausoleum of Atatürk.
Oh, Atatürk, yes.
There's a small ceremony. Then there is at the presidency a reception where the corps diplomatique and other dignitaries of my country come and salute the president. because the president is very important. He's the head of the republic. And so in the world as well, in every country, we have our celebrations, different type.
Oh, okay.
And this is very important. It's also a way where our fellow citizens come together, because you need to maintain the relations with your citizens.
Kind of cohesion.
Yes, and people are proud, and that's also, I think, something important. And it's also a way to remember all of our fallen people, because, as I said, nothing is easy. Lots of people lost their lives. Many lives were destroyed. Families were destroyed for that objective. So it's not something that was just given to us as a present. It was fought for. I mean, our independence war was a huge war. I'm not here to name countries, but we fought with most of the big countries that you would enumerate now. We were in war, but we were the rest of an empire. So maybe they took us too lightly.
Yeah, quite.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the projects that Turkey have been doing in the Gambia under your leadership. We've seen how you've been connecting with the media, and you know we even have a media page where we are updated on certain things. So what are some of these projects?
Well, you know, we try to, as I say, to diversify and to be present in different fields in this nice country. You know, education is an important area, health is an important area, empowerment of women, gardens, boreholes. I mean, these are main things that we do, but we are also capacity building, pushing for capacity building. I think that's really the important investment in this country, because you can give computers, things, but in 2 years they're obsolete. But when you invest in somebody, that person will even go further, because I say your people are very talented. You should believe in your people. That's the thing that is, I think, unfortunately lacking sometimes. When I hear people talking, they don't trust their people. Yes, okay. You were maybe not lucky.
Right. Gambians are not good at boasting. But when I came here, I was amazed at how many of my colleagues spoke multiple languages.
Yes,
local languages.
It's crazy.
We have people speak 5, 6.
I speak 2 languages, if I can say, my native language, but this is an exceptional for me. I mean, I try to go. I mean, 4, 5. Sometimes people they just switch from one. And that actually shows how you are ready to go even further. So yes, so we have to also. I always try to find also new areas of cooperation, and I think media is also very crucial to develop our relationship. You know, we need to create bridges. Students are an important bridge. Language is an important bridge. And media also, I think, is a very
And perhaps we should give you a very difficult challenge.
Sure.
Our national stadium is being redeveloped. We would love for the Turkey national team to come and play our national team when the stadium is real. I know it's that's why I said a difficult challenge.
I would be so much happy, and I would be in the first row. I would be cheering. I would most probably wear my Scorpions jersey. I have a very nice jersey in many colors. I have in red, in white, in blue. I have all of them.
Because I follow Turkish football, so you know I watch the league, and of course every time you will see Ataturk's image in all the stadiums. You know,
right now in my league. We are also, I think, Gambian football players also are interested. I mean, we are. There's a traction between clubs and managers, and people are going. This year, I gave many visas to young youth players who are going for preparation trials, or they have signed with the second team of teams. So they are getting ready. And for example, I support Galatasaray. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. I mean, I support all teams when they come to me, but in my heart is Galatasaray. And one of, I mean, the best footballers in the world right now is Osimhen, the Nigerian guy.
The Nigerian player.
Crazy guy. I mean, poof. I mean, even, you know, these kinds of things increase so much the interest of our public opinion towards African countries. So sport sometimes unites. Last week on Saturday, I went to Serakunda, I was there for about 5 hours.
Okay.
There was a 3-on-3 summer jam. Mbella,
Oh, okay.
Badarajang, you know, he's a
Okay,
good
yes.
friend of mine,
Right.
coach.
Right.
And he invited me. I like basketball. And it was so nice to see these women. Oh my God, they were so so energetic. And we were at the front row, and I had my daughter. I had to sometimes to make
To
sure,
prevent
because
her
it was
from the
so
ball,
much
yeah.
Physical.
energetic and physical.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in mashallah, it was
Yeah.
great. And you have great guys.
Absolutely, it's a matter
Physically-
of believing in yourself,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
you know you will be there. So
Yes.
thank you very much,
Thank you for
Honorable
having me.
Ambassador,
No,
for
thank you
talking
very
to
much.
us on the QTV this morning.
Thank you.
And we hope to engage you more in the future.
Well, I hope to come with more interesting projects. So
We will engage
each year
you
we
on
have to
those.
go forward to make sure that our relations are even more stronger. Thank you so much.
Thank
you for
you.
coming.
And thank you for your interest
you.
to my country.
You're-
and,
you're
Gentlemen.
and
you're
a
most
belated happy Republic
Thank you
Day.
very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
So viewers, will take a short break. After the break, the program continue. We'll be back.
Have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain, and stretched. Moments when every fiber of my being screams, give up. But the fire within me won't let me quit. Despite the burning muscles, in this sport, every moment matters. Every second counts. My failures, my dreams, my pain, my triumphs, they propel me forward beyond all limits. I am Gina Mariam Basbite, and this is Sunyubus.
In the vibrant heart of the Gambia, where life pulses with energy and connections bind us together, your number is the key that unlocks a world of possibilities. Whether you're chasing dreams, sharing passions, or simply brightening someone's day, your number matters in the symphony of our daily lives. Two numbers connect us all. What's your number?
Man la Ami Kole maa ngi nii Craft Market Serekunda may jaay ay malaan ay kiring te suma number mooy 522 7306.
Salaamaaleykum. Aha, ko caterpillar men fali so mi jonnam no mama si me mi wara ma kole. Padu 3 7 3 6 9 4
téléphone yi lañ bëggoon seen téléphone si ngeen bëgg waaw Alice baa ngi nii waaw yaa booy mooy li ma la doon di waxal ndax soo passé sa grade 9
We're back. You're watching QTV this morning. Now let's head to the last segment of this program, and we'll be talking to Ngala Lodge. I mean, breast cancer fundraiser. I mean, very significant, Mr. Dedrame.
As you were
And we
saying,
already have this team in the studios.
well, indeed, we have the team in the studios, and we were saying just before you guys came on earlier that we're just getting to the end of, breast,
October.
Pink
Breast
October.
Cancer
So
Awareness
you can
Month.
see you've got touches
Yes.
of pink.
So you're
but with-
almost at the end.
almost at the end.
Yes.
Yes.
So, ladies, it's good to have you. Please,
Thank you.
your names.
Please introduce yourselves.
Yes, my name is Kailani. I am the operations manager at Ngala Lodge. And I'm here to showcase what we're going to do this weekend.
Okay.
And
Thank
I'm
you,
here with the
Kailani.
beautiful.
My name is Yawo Konade.
Konade.
Thank you so much for having us. I am a creative and a friend of the Ngala Lodge.
Yeah. So let's talk about what inspired Ngala Lodge to organize this fundraiser.
So as Ngala Lodge, we always want to really put energy into social aspects as well. We care a lot about our people. We care a lot about using our platform in order to raise awareness. And like Awa said, very good friend of ours, and she has her own foundation. And then we thought we might be able to bundle those forces together to create awareness for breast cancer.
So when is the event?
So the event is very exciting. It's on Saturday, the 1st of November.
Okay.
So preparations are really coming along.
Okay.
It's not only the breast cancer awareness that we're doing, we're also selling these beautiful Van Gogh paintings. They are replicas. But all of the
I was
funds,
going to say,
yes,
you're selling the paintings. I thought Van Gogh paintings, very expensive.
Yes, the actual ones are not, but these are all
50 million
replicas.
for the cheapest.
Exactly,
that I saw.
exactly.
Right, okay.
But it's all the beautiful artworks.
Sunflower ones, which everybody knows.
Yeah, and all of the funds that we have go to the beautiful foundation.
Right.
And then after, we also have a very nice dinner with our chef Peter van Stalle, and the chef will make a beautiful dinner. And after, we have the Senegalese band, jam band, coming in.
So how will this fundraiser, before we invite the other guests, how will this fundraiser be used? I mean, to support this cancer awareness.
So as mentioned, all of the paintings are for sale, but we are not making any money out of it. It goes straight to the foundation, and that really spreads awareness throughout all different elements. And I think Yawas can say that
tell
even
us
better.
about the foundation.
Exactly.
So tell us about the foundation, how it came to be, and also your role in the foundation, and of course on the fundraiser.
Right. So the foundation is called Sainis Cancer Awareness Foundation. It was born in 2017 out of pain being turned into something positive. And my Saini is my sister. She was the eldest in the family, and we lost her through breast cancer. And so in 2017, a few months after she passed on, it was my 10th year anniversary. So I talked about me being a creative. So I was celebrating my 10th year anniversary in business. And so I wanted to give funds to the cancer unit of the Gambia. And this was to give, for a charity for Saini. And when I approached the doctors, they then wanted me to do more than just giving funds. They wanted me to do to be the voice of hope in regards to breast cancer, because at that time it was quite a taboo in the Gambia. There were a lot of myths around that, and so they wanted it because it was very close to me, so they wanted me to be a voice for that. And this is how the foundation was born, inspired by Dr. Ramanjai, especially because she was the one that was always present, and she thought it was very important at that time to raise awareness in cancer, especially breast. And so that's what the foundation stands for. And so in the past, the focus of the foundation rather is to make sure everyone in the Gambia knows about breast cancer. Sure. And so we have done campaigns in 3 different villages so far. And so the goal is to continue to go everywhere around the Gambia and make sure everyone knows about what breast cancer is.
So you're working with government?
With nurses and doctors.
And doctors.
Yes.
So does the country have a sort of national cancer strategy?
They do now.
They do now.
Yes, because
what happened for a particular reason, and I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah.
Right.
Please, yeah.
So in 2017, when we started, we did 2018, 2019, and in 2020, we were approached by other cancer foundations, so we can form a league and do the awareness more, which was very meaningful at that time because we wanted the message to go more viral at a stronger level, involving all stakeholders. And it was such a successful outcome because we had 2 ladies, the first lady come out and march with us. So we did a huge cancer walk where a lot of women came out, and even men, because as you know, breast cancer also affects men. Yeah.
So do you intend to continue this type of fundraiser every year?
Very good question. I think definitely. We want to be able to use our platform for more for other things as well. And the event is on the 1st of November, and Pink October is October, but that just shows that it's not only October that we need to raise awareness.
I think the whole month.
It's the whole month, but it's the whole year.
It's the whole year round.
Yes, exactly.
That's right. So
exactly.
And so I was asking you about whether there is a strategy, because I'm the chair of a Sierra Leone cancer charity. And that one was started because I had many family members who died, but a cousin of ours died from breast cancer. And you know, that was the kind of the spur that led us. But when we tried to get data and statistics, we found it hard. And believe it or not, the government ended up asking us to devise a strategy and actually run. So the Sierra Leone Cancer Register is actually run by us, by our cancer charity, not by the government.
Right.
They've given us a room in the hospital where we have our computers and stuff, but it was only 15 years ago that they started the thing. That's why I was asking, because to deal with this, you need to know the statistics. You need to know, are there particular areas where it's more prevalent and so on. And I just wondered how you go about getting those. You said you'd had 3 villages so far. You must have a plan of how many you'd like to target, and so if so, what's the kind of short, medium and long-term aim for the foundation, really?
So the long-term aim is to be able to have a space where people can come in for consultations and stuff like that. And the short term, like I said, it's clearly to make sure everyone in the Gambia knows what breast cancer is and what the preventive measures could be and how to do self-breast examination. So these are all the things that we do when we go around on our campaigns. We talk about the lifestyle that leads to cancer. So breast cancer is the 2nd highest killing cancer in the Gambia, next to cervical cancer.
Same in Sierra Leone.
Right. So yeah, I think it's the same everywhere, really. And it's such a sad situation in the Gambia, especially at that time when we were just beginning. And I can agree to a bit of what you said, because I was really touched when I went to do research and to just see what it is like in the hospital. And at that time, it was very bad, because the space there was in regards to the cancer unit or the cancer room was at a really not good stage. And so there has been a lot of difference since then, since we did the Cancer League collaboration.
Yes, I was going to say coalition.
Yes.
Collaboration is probably more.
Yes, that's right. So a lot has been done, and now I think we have mammogram machines. We have good scanners that will be able to tell you if this is the right lump or not. And things like that. And so this we hope to be seeing more improvements on. And
you know, most of the cancer patients, they get to hospitals while it's too late.
That's right. And so that's why the awareness is very significant.
We've invited a lot of specialists that were here, and we talked about it. But I think it's important for us to sensitize the general public. Once you suspect something on you, especially women, I mean, I think you need immediate, attention from the health sector. Sometimes things that can be prevented, you know, at some point it wasn't because of late intervention.
I think that's naturally part of our culture.
Yes.
You know.
And for us, what I realized too, Gambia, we don't go to hospital until when we
until it's
sick.
too late.
Until it's too late.
Yeah.
Yes, as you said, I think all diseases always gives us signals once they start in our bodies. You know, you can have headaches, it could be backache, it could be any different slight pain, slight aches. It's signaling that there's something serious coming. Yes, like you said. And it is at that point that we really have to start taking steps towards it. And so this is what we always try to tell to the public and where we go to for our campaigns, that it could be cured. Cancer could be cured, but if it's taken at a very early stage. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of a conversation that I had with a friend when I asked him, "Do you know your HIV status? Are you tested?" He said to me, "It's better I have it and die without even going and knowing it, because it's going to be sort of a death sentence for me." That's what he said.
Again, that's what I mean. Yes, again, that's what I mean. It's part of our culture. We feel like if there's something happening to us and we know it means that we're going to die from it. But I think it should be totally the opposite now. Now that we're having a better health care and we're having different medical foundations or different health foundations that are raising awareness to the public. Yeah.
So if we come back to the fundraiser and the Van Gogh paintings, how many are there, and what sort of are they set at a particular price for sale, or?
Yes, so we have over 70 paintings actually.
Well, I hope you.
But I mean, we have to go get some.
Yes, you are more than welcome. You are absolutely more than welcome.
They've all been priced at a certain.
They've all been priced at a certain price. Yes,
that's what we're saying.
Exactly, they are placed in our beautiful gardens.
So people can see. They can judge the size of them as well.
Exactly, people can just walk around, see what they like and what they would like to invest in. At first, we wanted to do it in a way where any donation is a donation, but we just really want to stress that it goes to the foundation. So the price range, we were really thinking about it for quite some time, but it's between $2,100 up till $12,000, and it's smaller, bigger sizes, and we have 70. So hopefully they will be going.
And where exactly is Gala Lodge?
Gala Lodge is situated in Fajara, so it's opposite MRC actually, and you can't miss it when you're on the road. You see all of the flags and beauty. Yes, and really it's a place from the outside you will never expect
when you go
all of what is in the background.
I once visited Ngala, and I was surprised to know you
what
have
was beyond
all that thing behind
Yes,
there.
exactly. We have 37 beautiful, uniquely designed suites that have really been grown throughout 35 years of experience here in hospitality in the Gambia. And we're very, very proud of what we do. And the people are really at the heart of our business.
What time is this starting?
So we kick off the afternoon at 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then the art exposition itself is from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. So people can come in, they get a nice welcome drink, they get a nice snack, and then the evening just beautifully transitions into great dinner, like I said before, by our new Belgian chef. And then we end the night with a beautiful bang with nice jazzy sounds from Senegal. So it's going to be a very exciting night, and we're really mixing.
I'm tempted.
Yeah,
no, you should definitely come.
Yes, we are mixing the very important.
Well, I wanted to come to support
subjects.
anyway because it's something that my aunt will never forgive me if I don't mention the cousin Verna Iskandri Johnson. It's in her name that we started the charity.
Right.
Oh, beautiful.
It's like ours with Sini.
Yes.
But I think Kelani left out something. You know, being at Ngala Lodge, I call it my paradise in the Gambia. It's such a gem, and as she mentioned, when you're on the road going, you don't think that's what's there until you enter. But also, you know, at the event, imagine having a sunset at the Ngala Lodge, seafront, beautiful garden, amazing setup out there. So if anything, if you guys are not even wanting to donate, which we would definitely love in order to carry out our mission, just to come for the beauty and the experience being there is an amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
So finally, any other thing before we wrap up this segment? Or do you
donate?
Exactly, that's what it's all about. And we are just a platform, and I'm very happy we did this collaboration, and I hope for many more. But yes, if you would like to reach out, you know where to find Gala now, hopefully, and also Sani's Cancer Awareness Foundation, of course.
And I guess, you know, the question that people will be asking, okay, we come along, we donate, we attend, we enjoy the event, the foundation. What is the kind of immediate next step for the foundation, really? following the fundraiser? What happens next? Is what people probably be asking.
Right, so that's a really good question. So the foundation, as we said, its focus is to raise awareness, and everything is fully focused on that.
Sure.
And so it's to reach out to the next villages, which we haven't done yet, and raise awareness there and make sure everybody is aware of what breast cancer is, first and foremost.
Sure.
And yes, that will be the next
So what
expectations.
resources do you have? Do you have a vehicle that belongs to the foundation?
No.
Or are you going to make, they don't have a vehicle, so please,
Yes.
they need a vehicle.
We don't really have
to get
nothing
around the country.
in place yet, to be honest, apart from human resources.
Yeah, sure.
And so what we do, that's why the donations are really highly appreciated.
Yeah.
It all goes towards the team, the logistics, as we all know.
And kind
how
of that's
it
why
is.
I'm asking, because if one of the resources you need is a vehicle, you don't then want to start dipping into what has been collected at the fund. So get people to donate a vehicle, a sound vehicle.
Well, that would be amazing.
And you know, in that way they can support.
That's
know,
right.
That's one way of supporting.
Yes, that's right. So apart from the donations, the other way we raise funds, I think this is very important for you to know. The reason why our resources are pretty at a low at this moment is, as a creative, I use 5% of every product I sell in my business, in my fashion, and put it towards the Cancer Foundation. And this is how we've been raising funds to make sure that our needs are met when the time comes for the campaigns and the awarenesses that we do.
So in the West, for example, before I came here, I won't mention the number, but I give monthly to a number of charities through my bank.
Nice.
Is there a system here, if people wanted to donate on a regular basis a certain amount? It can be a small amount, but every small amount
Nothing
ends
is
up,
small.
you know,
everything
accumulating.
counts.
So $5-10 a month from 1,000 people is a lot.
That's
You
right.
know, so are there ways that people can make donations to the foundation that way, or is that something to consider down the line?
Wow, that's another good question. Thank you for that. No, so we haven't got anything like that in place yet, but maybe it will
So
be
you
something
could work
that
maybe with one of the banks,
Yes.
and they can set up that. And
Yes,
then
we
people
have our account, the Cancer Foundation account with Trust Bank, and Trust Bank has been really good to us. And so yes, maybe that will be something we can go in conversation with them and see how they can help to make that happen.
Yeah, I think it will make it much easier. I mean, for people to donate, because this is it should be everybody's business to put you know, hand in it. You never know the next cancer victim.
Could be.
Well, research has said that in every 8 women, 1 is prone to having cancer.
So you
and it's really interesting. Also, the first time we were gonna launch the foundation, it was like every household I go, every sponsor I approach has someone who is connected to cancer in one way or the other. So that's right. You know, apart from my sister Sani, who really inspired this, I have cousins, I've had friends, I've had neighbors, I've had, you know, you name it, people passing away from cancer. And so, yes, it's something that's really on a very critical and sensitive stage when it comes to cancer. And I feel everybody needs to do their bit.
Everyone is affected in one way or another.
The life you save might be your own.
That's right.
Yeah, very true.
Right.
So that's it. I mean, thank you, ladies.
Thank you again.
Remember the date, 1st of November.
1st of November.
5
From
p.m.
5 to 7.
From 5 until the night ends.
Until the night,
Yes.
throughout the
Until they
night.
kick people
And
out.
thank you also for giving us the platform to come on. We really appreciate it.
You're
so
welcome.
thank you very
so
much.
Yes. So, Miss Ade, wrapping up the week.
The week ends here for this morning.
Yes.
You know, Thursday is it.
We'll be back here on Monday again for
Inshallah.
another edition of QTV This Morning. Thanks to our director, Aliu Jallo, and the camera crew, technical crew. We're saying big thanks. And to our viewers, until then, bye-bye.